country in Mexico. My family immigrated here because we also face similar issues and similar problems as the Filipino migrants who are here now in the U.S. And also as somebody who had the opportunity to go to the Philippines twice, in 2010 and 2011, and who got to see a lot of similar conditions between Philippines and Mexico, but also got to see an inspiring movement that really makes me want to have that similar connection to my home country and wants my country to fight back against imperialism like the Philippines.
So how do you think the issues affecting our communities here in the United States relate to what's going on in the Philippines and even in your own home country?
I think what we see in any capitalist system is that our communities, working class communities, peasant communities are marginalized from the decisions that impact their lives. We have no voice, we have no representation, and a lot of times our communities are forced to survive under very little. And I see a lot of the privatization of education in the U.S. and Mexico. We see the lack of jobs and employment, lack of a healthcare system, lack of housing. A lot of these conditions are built off of a capitalist system that gives the majority of the wealth of the country to the 1%, and where the 99% are struggling. And so I think I see making a lot of these connections in similar conditions, and I think what inspires me the most about the Philippines is that there's actually an active movement fighting against it. And so I think if there's similar conditions, I think there should be a similar resistance in response.
So as people living abroad and we're not in the Philippines, what can we do to help support that people's movement abroad?
I think with the example that the movement in the Philippines already has is like a huge inspiration. I think being able to make those connections and really network with people internationally and sharing a lot of the victories and challenges that have come along in the last 40 years. I think for me, just being exposed to the movement in the last 3-4 years has made a big impact in me and the way I see my work here. And I think just being able to make those connections and being able to build those bridges of solidarity is what can help a lot of other movements try to get find what's right for each country, find what's right for their own people.